2020 is now behind us, and what a year it was. The fourth quarter of 2020 was no exception. Just like the whole year, there was a rising market, despite a number of headlines throughout the quarter that certainly could have impacted people's lives in a number of different ways. But the biggest news being the development of a vaccine and the deployment of those vaccines in the Western world, noting that China and Russia already had vaccines in the market. But of course, there was a concern too, and certainly the Northern Hemisphere, as we move into the cold weather, that there would actually be a spike in cases. So there's that sort of trade-off between getting back to normal with herd immunity through a vaccine and the near-term concern around the increased count in the virus. Mix that with a U.S. federal election, one that Trump behaved as promised, that when he lost the election, he was certainly prepared to contest those results. But despite all of that, there was some volatility early in the quarter, and the market continued to rise through to the end as the news of the vaccine and the potential reopening in 2020 seemed to dominate the overall psyche of market participants. We did a bit of repositioning as we got through the end of the summer and the end of Q3, and the markets had really rallied. We'd got a little more defensive. And as the vaccine discoveries and completion of phase 3 trials, as those headlines came out and were positive, we were prepared to be more pro-growth, sort of more pro-cyclical, and that's what we started to do during the fourth quarter. So as we look ahead, as we've got the election results, and even though, everything culminated in insurrection and capital, this anomalous behavior of this president is certainly unprecedented. But presumably all of that will be behind us shortly. Expected 2 years of very active administrative activity in the U.S. as the Democrats have all three branches of government. But likely what's going to continue to dominate is the rollout of these vaccines and our ability to turn the economy back on. We're social beings, we like experiences, so as the opportunity comes, we do expect there to be pent-up demand. And so that rollout is what is likely to continue to dominate. So at the start of the year, we are positioned with a more pro-growth stance, believing that by the end of the year, we'll be back to whatever the new normal looks like, or certainly well on our way. So all the best in 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's hope it's a prosperous year.